All right, let's get started here. And I want to apologize if there's a lot of background noise. Kids are playing upstairs. So that's my life. And, working from home as an entrepreneur, many of you guys understand that. So today we're going to start our series on recruiting. So, as you know, a lot of my clients are in direct sales. And the biggest thing I hear people, they just don't know how to recruit. And today we're going to focus on recruiting your team, your downline. But a lot of this you could apply to recruiting new customers as well. But the focus will be on downline for this series. So, why do you need to recruit? For one thing is that when we get comfortable, we don't grow. And so what I see is people, they get to a certain level in their business and they're like, well, I have all this passive income coming in. I'm getting reoccurring purchases from my loyal customers. I have a rock star team. But when we don't continually recruit, our volume is naturally going to go down because only 10% of the people you actually recruit are going to stick around and are going to work their business. And of those 10%, not everyone's going to be successful. And, if they're trying hard, they might give up. They might realize maybe it's not for them, or they're going to take a job, maybe a dream job. So you have to keep recruiting. And the first thing we're going to talk about today is just our mindset around it. And then as we go through a series, I'll kind of get into logistics and different strategies we can focus on. But recruiting is going to be the foundation of your direct sales business. Well, it's the foundation of any business because technically recruiting isn't a sales, but there's a different mentality around it because within our downline, the team that we're growing, we want to find people who want to be entrepreneurs, who want to see this kind of freedom that we've created for ourselves, right? And, I see a lot of people who focus so much on building their team. They create these trainings, these mini courses, all these different resources. And when you join my team, I have a mini course for you to go through. I have Excel sheets that tell you exactly what to do every single day. And if you're consistent with it, it does lead to success. But the problem is that when people are so focused on building up their team, training their team, they stop focusing on their own business. And when we don't focus on our own business, we're not getting new customers. We're not getting new team members. We have to continually focus on our own results first every single month before we focus on our team. And so I'm not saying that you can't have that team call or you can't have on your one-on-one calls until you hit your goal. But every single day, part of your, blocked out schedule needs to be focused on your own business. We can't spend our entire day feeding our teams, building up our teams. That is our role as a leader, is to do some of that, but it can't be 100% of your focus. Because there's been so many people who I see, they become, let's say in Beachbody, you become the diamond coach, and they just want to, try to keep their team going, and they want to focus on all their coaches and have their coaches build up their team, but they're not bringing anyone new in. And with only 10% of those coaches actually staying, actually trying to work their business, very soon they're not going to have that diamond status or whatever status they're at, right? Because they are not continually feeding into their own business. The one thing with direct sales and network marketing is that it's really cheap to join, so people who join my team, it's kind of a no-brainer. The opportunity is huge and the risk is very small, and so people will oftentimes just join without thinking about it. And there's very little skin in the game. So let's say it costs $140, $150 to join your team. That's not a lot of money in the long run, right? And so it's easy for them not to take it seriously. It's easy for them just to be like, and they don't have a boss, like a legit boss. They have you as your leader, but you can't force them to do anything. You can't say, I'm going to fire you. I'm going to stop paying you if you don't actually do your daily tasks that you should be doing to be successful, right? So no one can make them show up. You can hope they're going to show up. You can be encouraging, but because you can't make them show up, you can't spend 100% of your time on them. We have to be strategic with how we do build up our teams, but my focus here is you can't forget about your own business. And so kind of the four things I want you to think about as we go through this mindset of recruiting is first to model. So you need to be an example. So if you're telling your team that they need to have 2,000 PV a month, which is what I do with my team, I have to hit 2,000 PV every single month. And so I need to be a model of what I expect of my team members. So I can't just be like, here's your goal, go for it, and then not do it myself. Because that's not a good leader. That's at the very minimum a manager. And so in these businesses, we have to be a good leader. And one of the core foundations of a leader is leading by example. So once we are that example, we then help our team achieve their goals. So then we become this motivator, and maybe it's just making sure our team understands the products. They understand the rules, or like how different like auto shipments work so that they can communicate to their customers. Maybe we teach them sales funnels or email marketing or ads, or whatever it is that you are knowledgeable in, then now you want to help them learn. And so that kind of leads into the mentorship. And your mentorship program, you need to have that leadership mindset, but you also you need to realize that 10% rule and not let it get you down when people leave your team. And as long as you're still focused on your business, you're still bringing new people in, you're always going to have people to mentor. And with that, we're continuing multiplying our business and growing it. And it might seem overwhelming. And at times people, even you might want to give up, but if you keep pushing through it and you have I can do this mentality, you can do it. You have to be consistent. You can't become complacent. And one thing I always tell people, so let's say I told you, I'm going to give you $20,000, but you have to recruit 3 people from your cold market in the next 2 days. Guess what? You're going to recruit at least 3 people from your cold market in the next 2 days because you're motivated. You have a lot of skin in the game. You want that 20 grand. So that's the urgency that you need to execute your business with. You need to have that mentality of I can do this. I'm going to do this. This is going to be my full-time career. This is my full-time business. I'm not going to work, my retail, my service, or whatever job it is that you're trying to leave. If you have that urgency, you have that passion, you can do this, but you just need to check your mindset and see where you are. And one thing I like to tell people, so imagine your favorite influencer. So I like Rachel Hollis or Amy Porterfield. So think about who is an influencer that you look up to. And I don't often encourage people to follow successful people within their direct sales company because it kind of gets you off on the wrong path. I want you to be very unique in who you are. So the influencers that you follow, I want them to be completely different from your actual business, okay? So think of an influencer that has nothing to do with your business. I want you to imagine for the next, let's say, 3 weeks, that you are that person every single day. I want you to show up with their confidence. I want you to show up with pizzazz that's your own. I don't want you to care what people think. Who cares? People need to hear your message. You were put on this earth to share your story, okay? So you have to stop being afraid to share your story. And we'll get into the sales part of it. I don't want you guys jumping on and just being like, look at my product, buy from me, I want you guys to share who you are, share what you're going through, maybe sharing your lifestyle, sharing what's being a mom at home, or, what's your passion? What's your hobby? Just start talking, start telling, maybe you went through something, maybe you, had a surgery, whatever it is, start sharing your story, be vulnerable, let people in, because that is what's going to attract people to you. People can buy your product anywhere. People want to buy from you because they relate to you and your story speaks to them. Your story is meant to be told. It's going to change lives, and you just have to believe that because people really need to hear your story. Your positivity may be the only positive thing they see all day on social media. Okay? So don't be afraid. Don't let those naysayers come up. Oftentimes those naysayers, they got other stuff going on. And the reason that they can be so negative tends to be rooted in something that's not related to you at all. It could be jealousy, or they they want to do what you're doing, but they're afraid to do it, or you just don't know. So don't take that negativity personal. Okay. So I want you to this week go for the rejection. Have a mindset that the rejection's positive, because without rejection, we're not going to grow our teams. We're not going to grow our business. Let's say we message 100 people and we have that 10%, always think 10% of what I do is actually going to result in something as far as like outreach or building up your team. So if I like for the $2,000 PV a month, I have to recruit 14 people a month. Yes, that's what so, I have to actually message and connect with more than 100 people every single month on a real basis. So it's not just cold messaging, it's actually getting to know that many people. And sometimes you're planting seeds that are gonna, blossom 3 months from now. You don't know. And remember, so, they need you. You don't need them. So if someone says no, that's okay, because you don't need them. You are gonna find the people who need you, and you are speaking to the people who need you. So think about who that person is. And as you're doing your lives, as you're writing your post, making your video, whatever it is you're doing, think about the person who needs you and what they need to hear. And just, don't be afraid to say no, or don't be afraid of the no. And, just think about the mindset you have within your business. So as we go through a series, I want you to keep your mindset in check, and we'll talk about strategies soon.